Singapore is known all over the globe for its knowledge in water management, especially its new water technology that was pioneered right here in Singapore. However, this clean water that we enjoy every day was not present in the early back days of our young and struggling nation. I shall now take you through the changes that Singapore has undergone to reach our high water standards of the present. As Singapore has very little natural resources, including fresh water, we have to import water from Malaysia. While the fact remains that Malaysia contributes a huge percentile of our water supply today, Singapore has managed to reduce our dependency on Malaysia for water by looking to other sources to provide us with water. Singapore gets its water from 4 different sources. Import of water from Malaysia takes up a hefty 40% of our water resources. The other 3 are water from reservoirs, which makes up 35% of our water needs. Desalinated water, another 10%, and new water, which makes up the last 15%.
New water is the most effective way of obtaining clean drinking water, as we cannot hope to build more reservoirs in land-scarce Singapore. Neither is desalination an effective option, as it is costly. Incidentally, Singapore's desalination plant at Tuas is one of the largest in the world, producing 30 million gallons of clean drinking water per day. Similar to new water, seawater is forced through plastic membranes with microscopic pores to extract dissolved salts. The British constructed the first water reservoir in 1867 in Macritchie. This reservoir was fine for a few years to supply water, but with the increase in population and the increased use of water, it was soon evident that other water supply options would need to be located. We have 19 raw water reservoirs as of today, with 2 more to be completed by 2011. The recently completed Marine Bay Reservoir was constructed around the estuary of 3 Singapore rivers. It increases rainfall catchment to approximately 2/3 of the country's surface area, and is effective of managing the huge influx of rainwater during the routine monsoon season every year.
Singapore is listed as the 165th country of 173 countries for the amount of water available per capita. This means that we have a very small supply of water available. When friction develops between Singapore and Malaysia, Malaysia might threaten to end our agreements early. Therefore, we cannot let our lack of one source become our downfall. Also, the reason for the building of the additional 2 reservoirs by 2011 is because it is the year by which one of our 2 water agreements with Malaysia expires, and it is unlikely that Malaysia will renew the water agreements. When our agreement with Malaysia ends, we will be more than ready to be fully water independent and able to meet the target of 400 million gallons of water we use every day.
This effective way of managing our water resources has earned Singapore the honor of leading the world in almost every aspect of water management. As proof of our internationally recognized achievements, Singapore has hosted the International Water Week in 2008. New water, otherwise known as reverse osmosis, was initiated in 1998. To date, it has 5 factories, namely that of Ulu Pandan, Changi, Bedok, Kranji and Seletar, and produces water so pure it exceeds probable future standards. Singapore hopes to further reduce its dependency on Malaysia by increasing the percentage of new water in our water supply to 30%. PUB, Public Utilities Board, has also launched a series of campaigns to remind Singaporeans about the need to save water. As such, Singapore is fully prepared to take counter water shortage in future. Even through a drought, we can still manage by obtaining our water needs from purification of wastewater and seawater.
No one can refute the fact that Singapore has come a long way in terms of water technology. As Singapore's population continues to grow, it is necessary that we must not get too complacent and stop looking for new ways to increase our water resources. While new water may sound like the answer to all our future water needs, we must be reminded that it was painstakingly developed over 3 whole decades, when the idea was first conceived in 1972. However, Singapore could not spare the funds and technology at that point in time, as the country needed the money to develop Singapore in those difficult days. Building of the new water plant started in 1998 after technology had improved significantly and the costs had lowered. It was completed in 2000 and started production then. New water is now in great demand for factories in which pure water is essential for their production. We must always be mindful the efforts our government has put in and be glad that we have clean water to drink.